Today we're going to learn how to knit the bobble stitch. This stitch is really one of the coolest textures in knitting, and it's actually quite easy. In this pillow pattern I'm working on, it calls for bobbles in a little staggered pattern like this. And I'm about to work another bobble section so I can show you just how it's done. Wherever you're putting a bobble, I recommend at least a couple of rows of stockinette first, because the bobble will dangle a little bit, so it's going to hang over the first couple of stitches right below it. You can work a bobble stitch over any number of stitches. For my pattern, I'm going to knit the first few stitches, and then my entire bobble will be worked into this one stitch. We're going to turn this one stitch into 3. Now there are as many ways to do this as there are to increase, but I'm going to knit into the stitch, keeping it on my left needle, yarn over, and knit into the stitch again. Bobbles can and are often made with more than 3 stitches, but this yarn is so chunky, 3 is all we need. Now you can let the stitch finally jump off the left needle, and we'll turn our work to work an extra row of the bobble stitches only. Since we're on the wrong side now, we're going to purl the 3 bobble stitches, turn, and knit the 3 bobble stitches. Again, turn and purl across. We're done building up the bobble, and we need to decrease back down to 1 stitch from 3. So slip the first stitch and knit the next 2 together. Then pass the slip stitch over. Now you have all that extra knitting that you needed for your bobble. And you can go ahead and knit into the next stitch. And I like to make sure that stitch is nice and tight so there's no hole. Work up to your next bobble and repeat. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, all into the same stitch. Turn and purl 3, turn and knit 3, turn and purl 3, turn and slip 1, knit 2 together, PSSO, or pass the slip stitch over, and then knit tightly into the next stitch. Now check out these bobbles. They're super cute, but they seem a bit wider on the bottom than the top, and they're lacking a little bit of projection. They're just ever so slightly flat. And now look at these finished bobbles down below. See how round they are and how much they pop? That effect is achieved by what we'll do on the next row. So the next row is a wrong side row, and we'll continue the reverse stockinette by purling up to our first bobble. So here's the back of the first bobble, and as we work him, we're going to give him a little scarf for support. You may have noticed it earlier in the video. To add this wrap, slip the bobble purlwise, and bring the working yarn under the bobble like this. Then bring the yarn to the front. With yarn in front, you can slip the bobble back onto the left needle and purl it. And since that working yarn is wrapped underneath the bobble, when you pull that stitch tight, it draws closed around the bobble, giving it shape and support. This will also help prevent the bobble from sinking back into the fabric, so it stays popped out. And then you can purl normally up to the next bobble, and I'll show you the wrap part again. And that's how you knit the bobble stitch and make it extra poppin' and secure with a little wrap/bobble scarf. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Like I mentioned, this stitch is part of a pillow pattern I'm currently working on, and all relevant links to that pattern as well as a written step-by-step blog post for this stitch will be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!